Hello readers, I'm Amy, here today to bring you the Build a Book tag, where I was tagged by Victoria from what Victoria read, so thank you Victoria for this tag. Let's go ahead and get started with this pile of books that I have behind me because I forgot to move them earlier whenever I was picking them out for these questions. Alright, first question, genre. Recommend a book that reflects your ideal novel's genre and mood. As you all know, I'm a pretty eclectic reader. I have a lot of different genres that I read from, but lately, just when I think my ideal genre, I go back to Daphne du Maurier and her Gothic fiction. This specifically is Rebecca. It's my favorite of her novels that I've read so far. I believe I've only read 2 of her novels, and then 2 of her short story collections. But Rebecca is still my favorite. I love the Gothic fiction of it. I love just the way that she sets the stage and makes it feel creepy, and the way she can build a story. It just, the mood. I'm feeling the mood. Also, it's really gray outside and might rain, so that might be determining the outcome of this Build a Book tag. Who knows? Next question, main character. If you could pull a main character from any book on your shelves to read another novel about, who would it be? This one's kind of tough. I don't tend to have favorite characters necessarily. Like, I have a lot of characters that I love, but I won't always remember them. Whenever I'm just a couple of books on, the plots tend to stand out to me more than the characters generally, or at least they're the information that I retain the best. Looking at my shelves and looking at my recently read books, what I ended up settling on was The Midwife from the Book of the Unnamed Midwife. We never actually learned the midwife's name. She goes by a lot of different names in this book in order to conceal her identity. She dresses up as a man in order to keep herself safe in this world where women are turned into slaves. And I think she's an amazing main character. She sticks it through. She survives. She's doing it all on her own because she can't trust anyone else. She helps other women get out of really horrible situations. She knows how to put on a disguise, and there's even, like, some self-care. She is reading to get herself through a cold winter, and there's nothing else to do. So I really love her as a main character. I think she would be the main character in my creepy Daphne du Maurier book. Then we have supporting character. Who would be your main character's sidekick? For that, what did I have as sidekick? Did I pick a sidekick? I might not have picked a sidekick off of the shelves. Give me a second. So in perusing my shelves, I went ahead and decided to go for the main character of The Flicker of Old Dreams, Mary Crampton. She's an embalmer at her father's mortuary. She lives in a really small town. She just wants to get out and see the world. She feels cramped just being in this one spot. I think that she could really complement the character from the Book of the Unnamed Midwife. They're both, she's on the move, she wants to be on the move, she's just trying to make a new life for herself. Mary Crampton also wants to make a new life for herself. I think they could go really well together. Also, I can see them being a really awesome power couple. Not that my ideal book would include romance, because I'm basically against most bookish romances because they feel annoying and they get in the way. So, speaking of that, tropes. What trope can you not get enough of? I can tell you the trope that I can get enough of, and that's romances shoved into books. Anyways, tropes. It actually says to recommend a couple of books that I love that use this trope. So, of course, I picked out 4 because that's just who I am. First, I have Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, and then I have Gerald's Game and The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. By the way, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon is a very underrated Stephen King. If you're looking for a great Stephen King book that no one talks about, read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. And then I have Jurassic Park. Not The Lost World. The Lost World was kind of trash, but Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. So, I love survival tropes and the tropes where you're stuck in one place and can't really leave. So in Horror Store, they are stuck in a furniture store and they can't really go anywhere. Or they can, but they choose not to because they're trying to figure things out. Jurassic Park. They're trapped on an island with genetically science created dinosaurs who are more dangerous than anyone gives them credit for, and they can't leave the park because transportation around there is weird and everything's shutting down and the dinosaurs are getting into things. Then we have The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, where this girl is stuck in the woods and she's just trying to survive. And we have Gerald's Game, where a woman is stuck handcuffed to a bed and is trying to survive the night. Maybe it was a couple of nights, but I think it was just one night. So surviving, being stuck in a place that you can't get out of, these are all books that I absolutely adore that have that trope. Next question, we have a plot twist. Which book has your favorite plot twist? Right off the top of my head, I have to say Identical by Ellen Hopkins. This is a story about twins who one of them is having a sexual relationship with their father, doesn't necessarily want to, but she is anyways, and the other one is jealous of that, not because of the sexual aspect, but because of the personal relationship with the dad that she doesn't have. The plot twist in this book was just so good. I didn't see it coming, and it really just, it was amazing. It was my favorite plot twist. I don't know how my creepy survival book could have this plot twist, but I would like to see it done. I think that would be very interesting. Then, relationships. What kind of relationship is important in your book? Show us your favorite bookish example of this kind of relationship. I'm gonna lighten things up for the first time in this whole tag and go with Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. It's not necessarily the sisterly relationship in this book that I love. It's the friendship between the sisters. You can have a sibling that you cannot stand, and you can also have a sibling that you're absolutely best friends with. And I love the friendship between the sisters. They're hating on each other, and they're loving each other, and they're getting each other through the tough times. And just that friendship, love is amazing. And I think that romances are overdone in books, and I want to see more great friendships, as I've already established. Then, villain. Which villain would you steal for your book? I'm gonna go with Prosper's Demon. Prosper's Demon is a novella about an exorcist who's just going around the world, trying to get his demons out of humans. There's a limited number of demons in the world, so he comes across the same ones time and time again. And the specific demon that is present throughout most of the book is always just like, oh shit, why is it always me? He always finds me. Guess I'm just gonna go because I don't really want to deal with this guy. He's such a snarky demon and also kind of pathetic, but really, really funny. And he's just trying to get by. He's just trying to survive and do his demon thing. Not that he can really die. It's kind of boring being immortal. And I just think he was a fantastic villain for this book. Also, you gotta kind of ask if the exorcist is a villain as well, because he's like, well, people are important and I need to get demons out of people, but if a person dies when I'm trying to get rid of the demon, it happens. Everything about that novella was just great. So, lastly, to wrap up my Gothic survival friendship fiction, we have the ending. Which kind of ending do you like the best? All wrapped up, open-ended, or something else? Give us an example of your favorite ending. I have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So, little bit about the ending. Not trying to spoil too much for you, but this is one of those nice mixes between being wrapped up and having an open ending. Most of this book, I would say, is pretty well wrapped up by the end. You know where the characters are headed, you know what they gotta get done, but there's also just a little part of this book that you don't really know how it's going to end. Maybe 5 years into the future, maybe 100 years into the future, something changes. You don't know. There's that little bit that has the potential to be an open part of the ending. And I really like that mix where there's just that one thing that isn't quite wrapped up yet. So there you go. That is going to be my creepy Gothic survival fiction with great friendships and strong female characters. Let me know what you think of my book that I just made. And please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, and we can build books together. And that is it from me. So, bye, friends.